Getting really heavy right here. Let's go. What is happening, everybody? Trey here, and today, reactions to the classics. I am continuing my journey through Black Sabbath's catalog right here, up to their 5th record, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. And based on this album cover alone, I know I'm in for probably a heavy metal classic right here. So really looking forward to this one. If you haven't checked out the previous reactions that I have done, you can check those out. We'll have them in a playlist, and I'll link them at the end of this video as well. Really enjoyed the journey thus far. Thanks to our longtime friend and patron of the channel, Carl, for suggesting these records for me to go through. And like I said, man, we're up to the 5th record already today. So without further ado, man, let's get into these quick facts right here. This was released all the way back in November 1973, charted at number 4 in the UK, 11 here in the States. Building on the stylistic changes introduced on the great 4th record they did, Volume 4, new songs incorporated some synths, strings, keys, and more complex arrangements. So I have that to look forward to, and a lot of interesting backstory on the recording of this record. So following their world tour in 72-73 in support of the album Volume 4, the group returned to LA to begin work on their next record. Pleased with Volume 4, the band sought to recreate the recording atmosphere and return to the Record Plant Studios. They rented a house in Bel Air and began writing in the summer of 73, but due in part to the substance abuse and fatigue that they were undergoing, they weren't able to complete any of the songs. Quote, ideas weren't coming out the way they were on Volume 4, and we got really discontent, Tony Iommi noted. Everybody was sitting there waiting for me to come up with something. I just couldn't think of anything. If I didn't come up with anything, nobody would do anything. In 2013, Geezer Butler, who is the bassist, if you don't know, told Mojo magazine that after the tour in support of Volume 4, the band was, quote, absolutely, completely exhausted. And by the time they played the Hollywood Bowl, Tony collapsed. It was really touch and go at one point whether he'd survive or not, because he was totally depleted. So we had to cancel the rest of the tour. And we actually took time off for the first time since the band started. We got away from each other and had a social life. Then we came back together to start on the next record. Couldn't come up with anything. In his autobiography, Ozzy Osbourne stated that the time leading up to the Hollywood Bowl, quote, Tony had been doing coke literally for days. We all had, but Tony had gone over the edge. I mean, that stuff just twists your whole idea of reality. You start seeing things that aren't there, and Tony was gone. Near the end of the gig, he walked off stage and collapsed. Regarding his writer's block, Tony himself admitted in 2013 that, quote, I panicked because I didn't have a single idea about what to write. Might have been the drugs, it could have been the pressure, but either way, I felt it was my fault. After a month in LA with no really fruit or results to show for it, they returned to the UK, where they rented the Clearwell Castle in the Forest of Dean, England. It's some huge word. Let's see how I do here. Gloucestershire, maybe, in which the likes of Led Zeppelin, Mott the Hoople, and Deep Purple wrote and recorded. The medieval surroundings may have revitalized the band musically, but also left a sinister impression. In the liner notes to the 1998 live album Reunion, Tony recalls that, quote, we rehearsed in the armory there, and one night I was walking down the corridor with Ozzy, and we saw a figure in a black cloak. We followed this figure into the armory, and there was absolutely no one there. That's some spooky lore right there. Kind of reminds me of that story of their original record on the title track, Black Sabbath. Whoever it was had disappeared into thin air. The people that owned the castle knew all about this ghost, and they said, oh yeah, that's the ghost of so-and-so. We were like, what? Geezer Butler noted, we rehearsed in the dungeons, and it was really creepy, but it had some atmosphere. It conjured up things, and stuff started coming out again. And hey, maybe that's reflected, I think, a little bit in this album cover that we have here. Ozzy said that Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath was the beginning of the end for their lineup, their original lineup. In 2013, he noted that Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath was really the album after which I should have said goodbye, because after that, I started really unraveling. Then we ended up falling out of favor with each other. Fueled by drug use and alcohol use within the band, tensions began to mount. Tony Iommi began to resent doing the lion's share of the songwriting and studio work, thus having no social life. Geezer Butler also began complaining that Ozzy had become too reliant on him for lyrics. So, with that backstory kind of in mind, tensions are flaring. Maybe the beginning of the end for this original lineup. Um, it's again just always interesting to kind of hear that backstory and just how things maybe start to unravel, and yet through all that, coming together with what I know is has a reputation of being a really great record. So with that said, y'all, we're gonna get into the reaction here. Thanks again to Carl for the suggestion. I've been able to sneak through most of the reactions in full over here on YouTube, but it'll also be on Vimeo if for some reason they can't get snuck through the YouTube censors here. But with that said, let's kick it off, man, with the title track right here. 8 songs on this thing, around 43 minutes, so kind of your typical Sabbath fare. So we're going to start this with the title track, whose main riff has been stated as the riff that saved Black Sabbath. It's been singled out for praise by hard rock and heavy metal guitar players, with Slash from Guns N' Roses stating that, quote, "The outro to Sabbath Bloody Sabbath is the heaviest shit I had ever heard in my life. To this day, I haven't heard anything as heavy that had as much soul." Tony Iommi noted that he just got stuck, couldn't think of anything to write. "I don't know if it was pressure or what. We left LA, came back to England and thought, that's it, we're finished, it's over. It was the same house, same everything, but it just didn't work. It was the first time in my life I'd ever had writer's block, and basically everyone used to wait around until I came up with a riff, and then we'd work from there, but nothing was coming. As soon as we were in there, I came up with the title track. The riff came up just like that, and I thought, that's it, we're off again." That was the start of the album, and we just kept going from there. So with that said, I'm excited to hear this riff. Let's get into Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Okay, switching to a little, adding a little acoustic right here. I'm down with. When you ask the reasons why, the people who have crippled you want to see them burn. The gates of life are closed on you, and there's just no return. Really enjoying the switch from that heavy riff to this chorus right here. They just tell you that you're on your own. Getting really heavy right here. Let's go. I see what Slash was talking about, man. Heavy as a beat. Wow, what a way to kick off your record right here. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Man, I see what Slash was talking about, whenever I was reading in the notes prior, how he said it was like, some of the heaviest stuff he ever heard. That ending portion right there, those last couple minutes, just really just laid on that heavy riff that, of course, we've seen throughout the catalog up to this point, how great Tony Iommi is at being able to write riffs that one, are heavy as can be and fit the mood that Sabbath evokes so well, and also are catchy at the same time and just get stuck in your head. On top of that, lyrically, Sabbath not leaving much to the imagination here, and being out and open with their frustrations, I think, a bit. Even from the first lines, you've seen right through distorted eyes. You know you had to learn. Notes, the truth is out, the lies are old, but you don't want to know. And then we shift. I thought it was interesting musically in the chorus where the acoustic guitar is added in there, from that heaviness of the riff in the verse to boom. Being a little sweeter in the chorus. Nobody will ever let you know when you ask the reasons why. They just tell you that you're on your own. Fill your head all full of lies. So again, kind of that deception, that what is true, what is false, where do I go, what's next? That kind of idea and theme is prevalent right here. And he talks about the people who've crippled you. You're wishing that the hands of doom could take your mind away. Kind of reminds me of the Hand of Doom track that they have. And you don't care if you don't see again the light of day. So again, just getting that sense of someone who has been depleted and doesn't have much left to give, which kind of reflects the state of the band at the time, right? And then we finished in that heavy outro with Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, nothing more to do, living just for dying, dying just for you. So what a way to kick off this record. Thought it was just an excellent track. And so now we're going to go to the second track here, the longest on the record, clocking a little over 6 minutes. We have A National Acrobat. Let's get it. Cool little double tracking vocal right there.
The thoughts and images, the unborn child that never was conceived. When little worlds collide, I'm trapped inside my embryonic cell.
Iommi's been on fire here. Okay. Bit of a smoother, uplifting riff in our final section here. National acrobat right here. Another one I gotta give the heart treatment to, and starting off musically, right? Again, so many different great riffs that start. Or that are just interspersed throughout the song. I really enjoyed the ending right there too, where we kind of get take a step back from the heaviness and get up a little bit more energy and almost uplifting in a sense. And we kind of had that wah wah type of sound throughout this song as well. And again, just showcases how Tony Iommi was still at the top of his game at this point in Sabbath's career. And the song itself, really, really unique subject matter here. Geezer noted that this song was just me thinking about who selects what sperm gets through to the egg. Just your standard fare for a metal band, right? And whenever you have that in mind, it kind of lends some interesting thoughts whenever you go through these lyrics, right? He notes, "I've lived 1,000 times. I found out what it means to be believed. The thoughts and images, the unborn child that never was conceived, with all the sperm that don't get lucky." to bind to the egg, right? And we have that. "I'm trapped inside my embryonic cell. Flashing memories are cast into the never-ending well." And then we continue to play that idea. "Don't believe the life you have will be the only one. You have to let your body sleep to let your soul live on." So very kind of esoteric subject matter right here. And towards the end, it says, "Just remember, love is life and hate is living death. Treat your life for what it's worth and live for every breath." So, Sabbath, again, I think so unfairly maligned by certain people or whatnot, and don't know some of the really kind of grand and positive messages that go behind a lot of their tunes, actually. So was a big fan of this one, and it made the most use of its time right there. We're going to go now to an instrumental right here called "Fluff," and it was named after the DJ Alan Fluff Freeman. He was one of the few people on the radio who would play Sabbath. He even used another one of their instrumentals, Laguna Sunrise, to open his radio show. He's even played at Tony Iommi's first wedding. So let's check this instrumental out. Really pretty melody right here. All right, Fluff, a really serene type of track here. Beautiful guitar melody. Obviously the piano quite prominent as well. I can imagine. I'm just chilling on the beach, just enjoying life as I'm listening to this. And nature and the life surrounds me, and I'm just in a relaxed state, man. Yeah, I don't have too much more to add on it, but I do like the fact that Sabbath on their records usually throw an instrumental on here, and most of the time they turn out pretty well, and this was no different, man. And so we're gonna go now to the fourth track on here, Sabra Cadabra. I'm already enjoying the name. It's a love song written by Geezer Butler and features a solo by Rick Wakeman, of course, of Yes fame, one of the great keyboardists of all time. Ozzy originally wrote the lyrics, but Butler later changed them. Ozzy's original lyrics were based on a sex tape we'd been listening to in the studio where we were recording. They'd been recording English voiceovers on a German porno. Unfortunately, I changed them into a more acceptable version. Geezer also noted one day at Morgan Studios when Rick Wakeman seemed even more bored than usual, I asked him if he'd like to come over to Studio 4, hear some of our new tracks. I remember playing the melody of Sabra Cadabra to him on the ARP 2600 synthesizer. There I was murdering this riff with one grubby finger with Rick watching me. When I finally stopped, Rick just went, maybe it would sound better like this. Leaned over the keyboard, did his thing. His fingers moved so fast I swear he couldn't see the things. I asked him right then if he'd play on the album, and he said he'd love to as long as we paid him his usual fee. How much, I asked. He said 2 pints of the director's best bitter. My kind of guy right there. So, man, with that said, I'm looking forward to seeing Rick Wakeman teaming up with Sabbath. Interesting. Only coming through this left ear. All right. Bit groovy, man. Makes me want to get up and move. All right. Wakeman coming through the cut. heavy riff mixed with the interspersed Wakeman piano right here. Pretty tight, man. Sabra Cadabra right here. Not only a great title, but impressive track for sure right here, man. And again, kind of groovy, especially in the first half of the song, man. Made you want to get up and move a little bit. Kind of seeing Sabbath go in a little bit of a territory that's maybe not as familiar for them as I'm used to hearing, right? And again, with the synth solo in there and the piano interspersed throughout by the great Rick Wakeman, that was cool to see them team up. And the end result was quite great in my estimation right here. And that chorus, someone to love me, she makes me feel all right. Someone to need me, love me every single night. And again, though, with Sabbath, even on some of their longer tunes, they shift little things here and there midway through the song, right? Almost had the watery vocal effect from Ozzy right there. Again, just to give you something a little different, keep you on your toes, so to speak. And I thought that was great. And that personification, lovely lady, mystifying eyes, lovely lady. She don't tell me no lies. I know I'll never leave you, and I'm never gonna leave you anymore. I thought that was interesting. Does that imply that he's left her before and now he's not going to? And so all that to say, man, a great track right here. Probably one that'll end up amongst my favorites when we get there at the end. But we still have half the record left, people. We're going to start off the second side here with Killing Yourself to Live. Was a Geezer Butler composition written while he was in the hospital for kidney problems caused by his drinking. Ward was also drinking heavily, and the song reflects the problems caused by their lifestyles. I'm always here for Tony Iommi solo, people. Right, Killing Yourself to Live, another banging track right here. I haven't had a lot of just straight up Iommi solos on this record, which up to this point. So I was glad to have not one but two on this song right here, and just that whole paradox, right? Killing yourself to live, such a unique phrase, and I think really highlights obviously where the band was at this time, right? With the drugs and alcohol, killing yourselves, but doing that is a way of life, or to cope with life, right? To get through and live their life with probably the grueling touring schedule, and who knows what else they were dealing with at the same time. Ozzy notes, pain, suffering, and misery. It's not the way that the world was meant. It's a pity you don't understand. And then, yeah, just these really great and fiery guitar solos coming at you by Iommi makes a really good track. And the end kind of lends to that confusion that you're in whenever you're just kind of drowning in the substances. I don't know if I'm up or down, whether black is white or blue is brown. The colors of my life are all different somehow. So yeah, man, really, again, another really, really strong tune right here. And we're going to go now to Who Are You? Ozzy noted about this song, I'd written it one night at Bulrush Cottage while I was loaded and fiddling around with a Revox tape machine and my ARP 2600. Okay. Did not expect this. The synths.
Yes, I know the secret that's within your mind. You think all the people who worship you are blind. You're just like me, brother, giving us your trust. And when you have played enough, you just cast our souls into the dust. Into the dust. Thought that it would be easy from the very start. Now I've found you out. I don't think you're so smart. I only have one more question before my time is through. Please, I beg you, tell me, in the name of hell, who are you? Who are you?
Definitely getting some almost Castlevania medieval type of vibes right here. Who Are You? And man, a very unique song in Sabbath's catalog, and on this record right here too, just with those synths panning constantly throughout the track. And I gotta be honest, I always am. Yeah, this song just did not work for me, guys. It just did not work for me really at all. I just could not get around it. Just was a bit boring, which I never say about Sabbath songs, but it just with the synth there and just the kind of uninspired vocal by Ozzy right here. Yeah, it just it didn't come together in a good way for me. Who knows? Maybe you're a big fan of it. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, this was the first miss on this record for me right here. But let's see if they pick things back up as we go to the penultimate track, Looking for Today.
It's complete, but obsolete. All tomorrows become yesterday. In demand for secondhand, it's been heard before you even fail. Up to date, but came too late. Better get yourself another name. Just alright, but overnight, you're the one who has to take the blame. Everyone just gets on top of you. The pain begins to eat your pride. You can't believe in anything you knew. When was the last time that you cried? Yeah. Don't delay, you're in today, but tomorrow is another dream. Sunday star is Monday star, out of date before you even see. At the top, so quick to flop, you're so new but rotting in decay.
Iommi again bringing it with this riff right here. Bill Ward too, behind the kit.
Everyone just gets on top of you. The pain begins to eat your pride. You can't believe in anything you knew. When was the last time that you cried?
right, looking for today brings the album back up for me after Who Are You? Again, Tony Iommi firing on all cylinders. I thought this was one of Ward's best drumming performances on the record as well. I haven't brought his name up too much, but I thought he was firing on all cylinders, man. And I like the subject matter too, talking about the music industry. But I think you can apply it to a lot of different industries, especially in our modern world in 2023 right here. All tomorrows become yesterday, in demand but secondhand. It's been heard before you even play. Up to date but came too late. Better get yourself another name. So again, I think Sabbath is just reflecting on how quick the music industry changes, right? You might be on top of the charts, but can you keep that up? And if not, the label has other people that they're going to be looking for to take your spot, essentially, right? And so I think that idea is really reflected in that that chorus too, the "Looking for Today" that Ozzy is just belting out. And I dug this track, man. And so we're gonna go now to our final song right here, "Spiral Architect." And so on this one, Geezer said it's about life's experiences being added to a person's DNA to create a unique individual. I guess hence the spiral architect. Ozzy said, quote, "I said to Geezer, we need the lyrics to this song. Do you have them? He says, give me an hour. So I called him in an hour and he said, sorcerers of madness selling me their time, child of God sitting in the sun, giving peace of mind, fictional seduction on a black snow sky. Sadness kills the Superman, even fathers cry." Ozzy said, "Are you reading these out of an effing book?" I was mind boggled. I mean, yeah, that you hear that so often from back in the day, wherever it's like, yeah, I was in the studio for 30 minutes or a couple hours, and I was able to write all the lyrics to my new record. So just always impressive. And so yeah, we'll give this last one a spin, y'all, and then after that, I'll give my favorite tracks and overall score to this record. Again, bringing the acoustic back, just like we had on our opening chorus. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Okay, I feel this is going to be a certified banger. I'm already getting that vibe.
Sorcerers of madness selling me their time, child of God sitting in the sun, giving peace of mind, fictional seduction on a black snow sky. Sadness kills the Superman, even fathers cry. Of all the things I value most of all,
Some strengths. Did not expect
I
it.
look inside myself and see my world and know that it is good to know that I should. Superstitious century didn't time
goes wild. Spiral Architect closing it out right here. And yeah, I know I read them at the start, but just the impressive nature of these very poetic lyrics. So props to Geezer for writing those, especially I think that second verse, the superstitious century. Say that 10 times fast, y'all. Didn't the time go slow? Separating sanity, watching children go. Synchronated Undertaker, spiral skies. So alliteration just on deck right here, man. And again, like I said at the start, I kind of reflecting, the DNA, the chorus of all the things I value most in life. I see my memories, feel their warmth, and know that they are good. You know that I should. And again, a very Sabbathy riff right here that just the right amount of heavy, yet also kind of gets stuck in your head as well. And you had the strings pop up, which again, kind of against the status quo for Sabbath, and yet this worked quite well. I think I kind of liked at the very end of the track too, the crowd clapping and whatnot. Almost I could envision a fancy little opera house, everybody just clapping after everything has concluded. So I thought that was pretty cool. And all in all, man, just a really strong song, and I think kind of encapsulated the best of what this record has to offer. So a worthy closing track right here. And I guess speaking of tracks that'll take me to my favorite tracks in no particular order. I will go with Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. If I had to choose one, I guess it would be that one, our opener right here. I also really enjoyed A National Acrobat. I thought that made the most use of its time. I liked how it switched up kind of some styles throughout. Sabracadabra was really great. And then our closer here, Spiral Architect, would round out my favorite tracks, of course. Let me know your favorite tracks down in the comments. And then just kind of my overall thoughts and score of this record right here. Again, what I like about Sabbath, they keep it concise. They keep it, not much in the way of filler or fluff, no pun intended. The only song on here that I wasn't feeling was Who Are You? But besides that, everything else hit for me, and I enjoyed even the instrumental fluff. Wasn't any fluff, wasn't any filler. I enjoyed how pretty the melody that Tony created on that one was. And like I said, man, just again, those classic heavy riffs. You didn't have as many solos in here as you're used to with Sabbath, but the ones that did pop up made the most use of their time. And lyrically, touching on things that were going around the band at the time, just kind of with the some of the deterioration of what's going on, talking about the music business, drugs, and the like. But even throwing in some love song or a love song in there. It just all in all made for a really strong effort and album right here. So I don't know, man. I'm still feeling a strong 8.5 on this album right here, and just might be their most badass album cover to date as well. So thanks again to Carl for suggesting this, taking this journey through Sabbath here at RTTC. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath down in the comments below. And we'll be back next month with Sabotage, which I've also heard good things about. Going all the way back, we'll be going back to 1975 with their 6th record right there. If you'd like to have me or Sean do a album reaction or song reaction or battle for you, check out our Patreon page, man. Or if you just want to support the channel, get early access to numerous full album listening parties that we've done through the years. You can check that out over there. We much appreciate it. But I guess, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it from me here today. So I hope your rest of your day or night is great wherever you are. And until next time, thanks for watching. Happy listening, and I will see you